was the early 1970s, and Nissan introduced a car that would be so impressive, so monolithic in its performance, that it would be remembered as one of the greatest race cars in Japanese motorsports, the Nissan Skyline GTR, better known as the Hakosuka GTR. It competed against Rotary-powered engines, like the Svannah Rx-3 and Capella, even rivaling purpose-built Porsche's 904 GTs. These glorious battles and victories etched forever in Japanese motorsports. For over a decade, the iconic Hakosuka smashed record after record, literally leaving its rivals in the dust and dominating Japanese motorsports in a way that was never thought possible. Within just a few years, the saying, "The Skyline's only rival is the Skyline," would be proven true again and again. The three GTRs, the 6, the 8, and the number 15, their 2.0-liter straight-six engine put out 1,998 CCS and produced up to 200 horsepower, allowing a series of racing legends to dominate the racetrack. Altogether, the trio of cars racked up an impressive 58 victories. Of these, 32 took place at historic Fuji Raceway, a 6-kilometer, 15-turn track situated in the shadow of the mountain for which it's named. Now, one of the most memorable wins of all was the 1971 Grand Prix tournament, when the number 6 Hakosuka, driven by Takahashi Kunimitsu, helped make the car's high-pitched exhaust note one of the most feared sounds in racing. Even though none of these legendary race cars have managed to survive the ages, you can still hear that iconic, dreaded sound of a Hakosuka GTR today, screaming up to 10,000 RPMs. The R-Factory Hakosuka proved to be so accurate that Nissan borrowed it for a period, for advertisements, documentaries, and showcase events all over Japan. They even brought it back to the Fuji Speedway in Suga Circuit, allowing the legendary Motoharu Kurosawa to show a new generation of racing fans why the Hakosuka was so feared and yet so admired. Today, Under the Hood bears a whopping 220 horsepower engine, along with the signatures of Takahashi Kunimitsu, who drove the original number 6 to victory in the 1971 Grand Prix, and boasts a reputation as the King of Drifting. Beside his autograph are those of Motoharu Kurosawa, a Japanese motorsports driver famously known as Gan-sa, and Masahiro Hasemi, one of the most iconic drivers in the history of Japanese racing. And finally, Shinichiro Sakurai, the engineer behind the look and design of the Nissan Hakosuka. In 2003, Fuji Speedway was shut down for a year, so that it might undergo an extensive redesign. After years of embracing a more simplistic layout, the Speedway was to be returned to its glory days, with a length of 4.56 kilometers and 16 turns. And so, to celebrate the final days of the track, Best Motoring set Motoharu Kurosawa back onto the track in the R-Factory's number 6 Hakosuka for one last blast. Thanks to some very passionate people, the legacy of the Nissan Hakosuka GTR doesn't come to an end. It is very much alive. A legacy which will carry on for ages. A legacy which will never die. And a legend who will never be forgotten. in remembrance of Takahashi Kunimitsu and the memorable win of the 1971 Grand Prix.